Hello, everyone. Welcome to Barca News and welcome to the post-match live analysis where we analyze Barcelona matches as soon as they end. My name is Mo, and today, we're going to be discussing Barcelona's victory over Villarreal 4-1 with a masterclass, an absolute masterclass by Lamine Yamal, who scored his first hat-trick in his professional career in first division. A great day for Barcelona, who not only take home an important victory against a difficult opponent, probably one of the remaining difficult matches that we have in this La Liga season, because of course we still have to play against Madrid, Atletico, and then of course Villarreal were third. So this was one of the last difficult matches that we have in this season. But not only, it's important, this victory is important because we won against an important rival, and we're now 4 points ahead of Real Madrid. It was also important because it allowed us, of course, to rotate players, to rest players like Lamine, like Rafinha, to give some minutes to Pedri, all thanks to the fact that Barcelona were able to kind of put this one away. I don't want to say early on, but by the 70th minute, this match was pretty much over. Now, this was also an important victory because, of course, on Tuesday, we do have the semifinal, the second leg of the semifinals of the Copa del Rey against Atletico Madrid. We're currently down 0-4, and I think today was important to get that win, to play well in order to, restore the confidence and restore the belief that perhaps we can mount a comeback against Atletico. Now, let's talk about the lineup first, and then we'll talk about the actual game or about the analysis. But let's talk about the lineup because this was the lineup that Hansi Flick chose for today's match. Let me see. I don't know why this is not broadcasting. There we go. But we had, of course, Joan Garcia on goal, Alejandro Balde and Jules Koundé as our two fullbacks, Pau Cubarsí and Eric Garcia as our two center backs. Later on, Ronald Araujo came in for Bernal, and he stepped up to that center back position next to Cubarsí, with Eric Garcia moving in the place of Bernal. In the midfield, we have Marc Bernal and Dani Olmo as our double pivot, with Fermín López as our attacking mid. Of course, later on, Olmo also came off. And then we have Rafinha, Ferran Torres, and Lamine Yamal. Rafinha also coming off, Rashford coming in his place, Ferran coming off, Lewy coming in his place. Lamine also went off with Rooney Bardghji taking his place. So this was the lineup that Hansi Flick used in today's match. And of course, having reviewed that, let's talk about the actual sensations of this match, because this wasn't perhaps a brilliant match by Barcelona. Perhaps it wasn't the most electrifying or the most exciting match, but it was a serious match. And I mean a serious match in that Barcelona came out, took this match seriously. They did their job. They dominated the match. They created chances. They scored goals, and they took home the victory. And this is, of course, very important because, as we've seen, when Barcelona plays half-ass, that's enough for them to beat smaller teams. Today, they played a serious match, and it was enough for them to score 4 goals against a top team in La Liga. So, can you imagine if Barcelona end up playing an excellent match? If a serious match means that Barcelona can score 4 goals against a team like Villarreal, if we play an excellent match, it definitely gives me reason to think that, yes, we can score 5 goals against Atletico de Madrid because, like I've said many, many times before, this team is capable of a lot of things. This team is capable of competing against anyone. This team is capable of competing for any trophy. The problem is that whenever this team has done bad, it's not because the team doesn't have the players necessary, or it's not because this team doesn't have the talent or the skill or the system or the coach necessary to play well or to win. It's because usually the players have not done their job. They're usually because the players have come out half asleep or not playing with intensity or not pressing like they're supposed to do. So this team is capable of whatever they want to do. It's just a matter of, are they up to it? So today shows us that clearly this team does have the capacity of competing against anyone, because, again, this wasn't an excellent match. This was a serious match, and yet they were able to score 4 goals against a top La Liga team. So if they do play an excellent match against Atletico, they should be able to score 5. But, of course, let's not talk about Atletico. Let's talk about today's match, because today, the first half of Barcelona was a very good half for the team. As we know, Villarreal like to give control away of the ball to the opposing team. Villarreal team actually has one of the lowest possessions in La Liga, not because they get the ball taken away and they suck at keeping it. It's just how Marcelino likes to play. Villarreal likes to give you the ball, you take the ball, I don't want it. Villarreal defends, low block, a very well-organized low block. They defend, and then when they get the ball back, boom, quick transitions, 1, 2, 3 passes, they're in your box, and they score a goal. That's what Villarreal is known for, and today Barcelona were able to counter that. And they were able to counter that because Barcelona's press was up to par. Today, the players did really good job positioning themselves, anticipating passes, anticipating Villarreal's quick transitions, and time again, every time Villarreal would get the ball and they would try to get that quick transition going, they would try to get that through pass or a long pass to the empty space, boom, there was a Barcelona player ready to intercept that pass, and Villarreal were only able to, I think they had 2, maybe 3 clear chances in the entire match. One of them, of course, ended up being a goal. Now, I think Eddie Garcia was superb yet once again. I think his anticipation was out of this world like he always is. Marc Bernal, I really liked Marc Bernal's minutes today. Maybe not his best match yet, but this is his second start. First time, coming in the place of Frankie de Jong, who's injured. And I think Marc Bernal did a good job substituting Frankie de Jong in that midfield. Also, we do have to talk about Fermin Lopez. Fermin Lopez, really good match by him. He had a series of 2 or bad 3 matches, but Fermin Lopez, second match, again, doing a really good job. He had 2 assists today. And then we're going to talk about Lamine in a little bit. But Ferran Torres, I think we're at the point where we could say that playing with Ferran Torres is like playing with one less player. I mean, his control is just so abhorrent. We've seen so many chances in so many matches where they get a through pass to Ferran Torres, and that would leave him potentially 1v1 against the goalkeeper, and then his control is so awful that the ball ends up bouncing off his feet, it ends up bouncing behind him or really far away from him or next to him, and then the chance is completely blown. So at this point, I think playing with Ferran Torres is like playing with one less player. Dani Olmo. Y'all got mad when I said Dani Olmo sucks. Can you guys defend Dani Olmo anymore? Because I can't. Like I said, incredibly talented, skilled player, gives you 1 brilliant performance followed by 10 bad ones. And today, no different. As soon as Dani Olmo comes off and Pedri comes in, I mean, the match completely looked different. Because the second half, Villarreal started out, they came out strong. And in the second half, Villarreal, they score a goal. It's 2-1, and it looks like they could score the second goal. Pedri comes on, and then Villarreal just completely dissipates. Because Pedri was there to anticipate their passes, to intercept their passes, to hold on to the ball, to prevent Villarreal from getting the possession of the ball. I mean, I'm sorry, but if you guys still defending Dani Olmo, I don't know what the hell you're seeing. I think you're seeing a different match. And then, of course, we come to the MVP of the match, the masterclass today, Lamine Yamal in absolute God mode, because today Lamine Yamal cooked Villarreal's defense, and he is fasting. So I don't even know who he was cooking for. He can't even eat the own food that he's cooking. He was cooking for the rest of the team, I guess. But Lamine Yamal today, ladies and gentlemen, he was absolutely brilliant, scoring a hat trick, his first hat trick since becoming a first division baller, shot caller, just kidding, football player, but an absolutely incredible match by Lamine Yamal. The first goal, Fermin Lopez steals the ball, through pass to Lamine, leaving him 1v1 against the goalkeeper, and Lamine Yamal finishes superbly, puts the ball to the far post, nothing the goalkeeper can do. And then, of course, the gem of all 3 goals, the second goal where Lamine Yamal dribbles past one defender, past the second defender, curls it away to the far post. An incredible, brilliant individual goal by Lamine Yamal. Third goal, Pedri, my God, what a pass by Pedri, breaking all of Villarreal's defensive lines, getting past 4 or 5 different players, and that ball leaves Lamine Yamal head-to-head with the goalkeeper. He was kind of running out of angle, but he still is able to open his hip and get the shot out to the far post. 3 goals for Lamine. It was honestly, this wasn't Barcelona versus the 3, Villarreal 1. It was Lamine Yamal 3, Villarreal 1. And then, of course, a 4th goal by Lewandowski, and an incredible play by Barcelona and a group effort where it was, Koundé to, who did he give it to? It was a 1-2, Koundé to Pedri, I think, and then back to Koundé cross, and then all Lewy has to do is push it in. But 4 goals for Barcelona, 4-1, important victory, 3 very important points for Barca. And of course, this gives us I hope at least it gives the team the confidence that yes, we can mount a comeback on Tuesday. And like I said at the beginning of this video, the important thing is that we were able to rotate. So we saw a lot of players come off like Rafinha, like Lamine, that were able to rest. Pedri getting some minutes. Bernal was also taken off. And I got to say, it was a very, very entertaining first half. A little bit of a much slower second half. It was a bit lazier second half by Barca. But at this point, I mean, that the match was won. And then it was just a matter of controlling the tempos and just let the clock run out. But happy with Barcelona's performance. Again, not the most excellent match by them, but nonetheless, a serious match. And again, if you can play a serious match and still score 4 goals against a team like Villarreal, if we play an excellent match against Atletico Madrid, I think we can mount the comeback. But of course, it's all going to depend on the players. Now, another thing I want to talk about, and unfortunately, it's unfortunate that I still have to be talking about this, but the referees, man. I just don't know what to say anymore. I just don't know what to say. And today we get to talk about the refs more than ever because we won. So this is not an excuse. I'm not here crying, telling you about how Barcelona got robbed and we lost thanks to the ref. That's not the case. We still won. And we won decisively and by a big margin. But these refs, man, these refs are absolute garbage. They're absolute trash. I mean, Lamine Yamal got fouled with the studs out, and not even the VAR goes in. No yellow card, no red card, not even a fucking foul. And that could have ended up in a Villarreal goal because Lamine Yamal gets fouled. Villarreal get the ball, and then in a series of passes, they end up getting a shot at our goal, which thankfully wasn't a goal. But, I mean, these refs are just absolute trash. I mean, I don't know what else to say about these refs. I don't know what La Liga or the CTA or the Royal Spanish Football Federation are waiting for. But these refs, I wouldn't trust them reffing a Pee-wee league because they are so fucking garbage. They're so incompetent. It's absolutely mind-blowing. I mean, Lewandowski's goal, he was like 10 feet behind the ball, and the referee rules it's an offside, and then the VAR has to intervene. I mean, how do you even miss that? This wasn't one of those really close calls where Lewandowski is like maybe an inch behind the ball, and, you know, there's no way you can catch it with an eye. The computer has to. I get it. Close calls, it's very difficult for a human to get the. But we're talking about, I mean, when they show the replay, it's like the ball is right here and Lewy's like right here. There's so much distance between the ball and Lewy, and the ref still rules it's not. I mean, these refs are just the epitome of incompetence. The epitome of incompetence. But anyways, I don't want to get mad talking about these garbage refs. Again, important victory, solid performance by Barcelona, masterclass by Lamine Yamal, and I have to say, we are ready for Atletico Madrid. Now, of course, whether we get the comeback or not, we'll see, but I think we are ready. All right, let's do a few comments, and then we'll end this live stream. Let's see what everyone thinks about the match. Jamie, who says, bro, I'm done with Ferran. Yeah. There was a few people I remember at the beginning of the season who just like argue with me. Ferrari scored this many goals, Ferrari, and he's got to be the starting 9. And like they were like adamant, and I'm like, wow. I mean, if you think Ferran can be the starting center forward for a team as big as Barca, we have bigger problems. MFA Scully says we need a new striker, left back, right back, and center back. We definitely need a striker, and we do need fullbacks that can compete with Koundé and Balde. And then I don't know if we necessarily need a center back. I mean, yes, a left-footed center back, a world-class left-footed center back would be a great addition. But I think between Pau Cubarsí and Eric Garcia, we have those positions covered. And we have, of course, Araujo and Maldini who can substitute them. And we even have Andreas Christensen. We forgot that he exists. But I think, obviously, the number one priority is a striker. We need a center forward like yesterday because Ferran cannot be it, man. Ferran cannot be the starting center forward. He can't. I'm sorry, but he can't. And if you think he can, my God, God help you. Justice Boyo with my favorite line. Hello, Mo. Justice Boyo from the Gambia. I'm so happy and pleased to see the team's quality today, and I hope they keep it high like that on Tuesday. Biscal Barca always. Amen, my friend. Amen, my friend. Jamie says, do you think Casado can play as a right back? He can, because he did play as a right back with Barca Athletic several times. And we saw him, I think he did it twice with Barcelona. So he technically could. Eddie says, is it just me or does Araujo seem more calm? He does. He really does. Today, he came on, the last 20 minutes, last 30 minutes, something like that. And he doesn't look like before he looked like a bull, just trying to like mow down his like as soon as his mark would get the ball, Araujo would just like trying to run him down, and like and that's why he would sometimes commit some stupid fouls and get red carded. But now he just looks like more calm. He gets there, he's waiting for his opponent to make the move. Like he does look more calm. I agree 100%. That's a good observation. I think that time off it really helped him. He admitted that he'd been suffering from anxiety and depression, and that time off really helped him. And yeah, he does look more calm, more composed. He doesn't look like he's nervous or he's like just trying to run like a bull in freaking Pamplona. So yeah, 100% I agree with you. Oh, and I missed a donation. Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you, bad boy, for the donation. Thank you for your generosity. Did you mean to leave a comment and you accidentally didn't? If so, leave it down. Make sure you drop it down, and I will definitely make sure to read it. So, but thank you, my friend, for your generosity. And Alexis says, I think Cubarsí had an amazing game. 100% agree. Cubarsí was really good defensively. So this is what happens when the whole team presses, right? Fans are quick to always trash the defense. Oh, our defense sucks. Oh, our defense trash. Oh, Cubarsí is terrible. Oh, we need a center back. And it's like, no, what we need is for the entire team to press as a whole, because when you play with your line so advanced, you're going to leave so much space in the back. And if you don't press, of course, your center backs are going to be caught with their pants around their ankles. Like, of course. And then today, the team was actually helping with defensive duties. The whole team was pressing. And look at that. Cubarsí and Eric Garcia look absolutely superb, because that's what happens. You cannot, when you play like with Barcelona, you cannot count on two guys to defend. You have to defend with all 11 players. And if your other 7, 8 players are not doing their job, of course, your two center backs are going to suffer, because now they have to cover for the other 7, 8 players that were supposed to be helping you with the defense. Chris Cross says he sucks sometimes, only starting to look like Coutinho here. One day, next day, it feels like he chilling in matches. Maybe it's because he not in his position, but you have to do better. Like, look at Rafinha. Wait, who are we talking about? I'm not sure who you're talking about. Eddie says at one point you were Casado's number 1 defender. We can all have shit opinions. It's not that I was the number 1 defender, but you cannot deny that Casado had an incredible first half of the season last season. And then, of course, Frankie de Jong comes back from injury, so he kind of takes his spot back, and then Casado just doesn't get minutes. So it's not that I'm his number 1 defender. I think he's a good defender to have on the bench. I think he's a really good rotational player. The problem is he doesn't have enough minutes to be consistent to where he could get back into competitive rhythm. You know what I'm saying? This is the same problem we saw with Eddie Garcia under Xavi. Under Xavi, Eddie Garcia would not get the minutes that consistent minutes. So he would never was able to like get into full competitive rhythm, right? Because when you don't play for too long, you get rusty, right? That's why we have preseasons, because the players go 3 weeks vacation, they don't play, they come back, they're off their game. They're not into competitive rhythm. So you have to have that preseason where you play matches so they can kind of like get back into competitive rhythm. And even with the preseason matches, the first 2 or 3 matches of any season, they're always crap because the players are off their game. So the same thing happens when you're on the bench throughout the season. If you're on the bench for 2, 3 matches, you're not playing, you get rusty, you're off your game. And then you get a few minutes and you look like crap because you're off your game. And then you go another 2, 3 matches without playing. So you never really get back into competitive rhythm. And that's what was happening with Eric Garcia under Xavi. And that's why a lot of people were like, oh, Eric sucks, Eric's trash, like sell him to Girona. And then look, now with some consistent minutes, I think Eric is our best defender. So I think that's what's happening with Marc Casado. Not that I'm his biggest defender, but to have a player that came out through the academy, that understands our system, that can play the way he can play and cost us nothing, I think that's huge. Because what a lot of people forget to factor into whether a player is good or not good, they forget to factor what that player cost us. And yes, price matters, even though sometimes people say, "Oh, well, it's not his fault that the club overpaid for him." Right? It's not, but still, if you pay big bucks for a player, you expect performance right away. You cannot compare a player who cost you 60 mil to a player who came up through your academy and cost you nothing. The player who costs you nothing gets a little bit more leeway than the player that costs you a lot of money. Let's put it in non-football terms. If you go spend 150,000, 200,000 on a Ferrari, you're gonna expect that Ferrari to be top of the line. If you spend 10K on a Corolla and maybe you see that one of the seats has I don't know, the stitching is coming off on one of the seats, you might just overlook it. You're like, I don't give a fuck. But if you see a stitching coming off your $200,000 Ferrari, you're gonna be mad because I just paid a lot of money for this car. I expect this car to be top notch. It's the same with players, and that's something that people a lot of times don't factor in. Let's see. Nazru says Atletico will probably park the bus and do all kinds of delaying tactics to win. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. Alexis says, I think it needs to be Bernal, Pedri, and Fermin against Atletico. Almost seems to limit Fermin when they play together. Fermin plays with more freedom and has more options played as the sole 10. I agree. I think when Olmo and Fermin are on the field, they kind of get in each other's way. Because Olmo, they're both attacking mids, right? So when Olmo's playing as a defensive mid or as a double pivot right next to Pedri or Bernal or whomever, he still has that, I guess, that urge of making that forward run, of like occupying that space behind our three forwards. So he gets kind of in the way of Fermin because Fermin is also trying to do that, right? So I think you're right. I think it should be Bernal, Pedri, and Fermin Lopez against Atletico. But of course, we'll see with Flick. You never know. With Flick, it's very hard to predict his lineups. Earl says Casado is very more effective than Olmo. The game totally shifted when Olmo came out. Big time, man. It's like... Anyways. Penda says, hey, I think Flick needs to change the system. We should try Rashford, Rafinha, and Yamal in our attack. Impact the bus. Depends on counter-attack football when we play against strong teams. What do you think? The problem with having Rashford in the starting lineup against Atletico Madrid is that Rashford doesn't really help with the press or with defensive duties. And against Atletico, since they are going to be parking the bus, they're going to be also looking to counterattack. And we need someone like Coutinho on the wing to be able to drop and help recover the ball whenever Atletico switches from defense to offense. So I don't know. If I were to start Rashford, I would put him as a center forward maybe, versus putting him on the wing. But I don't know. I feel like we might go with Lewy. I think Lewy might be our center forward for that match. Devon says, hey, Mo, Berkey from Jamaica checking in. I think that we have a very talented Marc Bernal on our hands. We have to take care of him. Secondly, we need to score early against Atletico and pressure them. Yeah, the goals are going to have to come quick. Like first 10, 20, 15 minutes, we need to have scored our first goal. If we could do that, not only that gives you more time to score the rest, but that starts putting pressure on Atletico Madrid. And we've seen in the past that when Atletico Madrid feel pressure, they crack under it. El Cholo Simeone is a professional choker. I mean, he really is. And so is his team. And if Barcelona start getting the goals right away, I feel like they're going to start cracking and mistakes are going to start happening and cracks in their defensive walls are going to start to emerge. So, yeah, for sure. And it says what makes Barca authentic is that we always play our football no matter what. It's necessary parking the bus. Barca is the same sentence is wild. Yeah, 100% agree. You cannot, it's like when people say, oh, Flick should change his system. You cannot just fucking change your system because it's not a system you know how to play, okay? As coaches develop their system early on when they become coaches. They decide what system they like and they develop that system. They learn from their mistakes. They improve on it. They change things. They make it their own. And they spend their whole careers, years and years, learning that system and perfecting it. And then all of a sudden you ask a coach to change it. It's like, what is he going to change it to? To something else that he's never, ever done, that he's never learned or perfected or done anything. It's like, it doesn't work like that. So you have to stick to your football. You have to play your football and you improve on it. You don't change it. You improve on it because if you change it, you're never going to perfect a single system. You're going to be a jack of all trades and master of none But if you stick to your system and you keep improving it, and perfect it, it's only going to get better and better and better and better. And then eventually it's going to start giving you more and more results. But if you keep changing, you're never going to perfect any system, because you're going to try one system, and as it's growing, as you're making it better, oh, dump it, next one. You start getting it better, dump it, next one. It's like the Mexican national team with their coaches. These motherfuckers are changing coaches every other week. So they never can get the project off the ground. Kevin says, which players do you want in these positions, knowing what you know about Barca's budget striker? Osimhen, Vlahovic, Marmoush, Alvarez, defender, Senesi, Bastoni, Van de Ven, Murillo. I mean, based on budget, it's going to have to be Vlahovic. Osimhen is going to cost 90 plus. We can afford it. Alvarez, Atletico are saying 200 mil. Marmoush, I don't know what Marmoush would cost. Man City did pay 75 mil, so I can't imagine it's going to be cheap. Vlahovic is going to be free. So out of all these options, I think the one that makes sense is Vlahovic. Not my favorite option, don't get me wrong. I will take Osimhen any day over Vlahovic, but the financial reality is completely different from, wishful thinking. So I think Vlahovic, free agent, 25 in his prime years, an actual center forward, not like Alvarez or Marmoush, who are not really pure nines. So I think Vlahovic. Again, not my favorite option, just given the circumstances. Defender, I think it's going to have to be my favorite out of those. Of course, I would love to have Bastoni. Second place, Van de Ven. But reality, Senesi. Let's see. One more comment. Thought and more. Which players do you want in these positions from these? Oh, wait. Is this the same comment? Oh, I guess the only difference is fullbacks. Ryerson, Brown, or Cancelo. Brown. But I don't think we can afford Brown or Ryerson. And despite that, I'd rather not have Cancelo, period. And VAR was right. Says, hey, Mo, what do you think of Pedri's game today? I mean, bro, Pedri's Pedri, man. Pedri, just by being on the pitch, he already changes the game. He doesn't even have to do anything. I mean, just maybe that's his aura, man. Pedri is Pedri, bro. Pedri is just magic. Pedri is something else, bro. We're so blessed to have Pedri on that. I mean, the match immediately changed as soon as Pedri got on. And then that assist to Lamine Yamal, my God, that pass. My goodness. Anyways, that is all, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for your comments, your likes, your subscriptions, your everything. I love you guys. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment. I might do another video tonight. If not, I'll definitely see you guys in tomorrow's videos. But semi-final on Tuesday. I'm nervous. Anyways, see you guys later. And as always, Viscars.